and we could go over some stock up, stock down. Some teams that either exceeded expectations coming in so far. It's early, only seen 1 week, but some teams have exceeded expectations in some areas, and some teams clearly haven't. Um, Ohio State, uh, like we said, that offense really didn't show up, but that defense
Did
really,
show up.
it really came to play, exceeded expectations as far as showing that they could stop people, and if they could, keep that up all year, they'll be ready come playoff time.
I think Notre Dame too, just in general, Notre Dame is able to show that they could at least hang with these kinds of top five, top four teams. I mean, you allow Ohio State only to score 21 points. Obviously you guys lost, but I mean, for most of the game, it seemed like they were in control. And then once Ohio State broke the gasket in like the third, then it was kind of like, after that, it's kind of like, all right, we're playing catch up ball.
Well, this is a situation where I think, Notre Dame looks like they were maybe better. They might be a team that's better than we thought. It's yet to be seen. But also Ohio State was shooting themselves in the foot a little bit by just not playing offense.
Right.
But yeah, defensively at least, Ohio State showed that it has defense this year, which it hasn't recently. And while their offense didn't really show up, I think you'd be a fool to think that they just suddenly went away with a lot of the same players that they had last year. And I mean, you might say, oh well, they lost Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave. Okay, well yeah, well they played Utah in the bowl game and put up a ton of points with those guys, and they look like they didn't miss a beat. So
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll get back on track. Georgia's another one. We talked about them obliterating Oregon. Defense looks solid, and offense looks much better than last year. So it seems like Stetson Bennett it maybe took the next step. I don't think he's going to be an all-world quarterback, but the guy did win the national championship, and he was showing that he could throw it around a bit. Florida, I mean, and we talked about Florida a lot already, but they look like a team on the rise. And a team we didn't talk about, Miami. They put up 70. I mean, they played a cupcake team, but they put up 70. A lot of people higher on Tyler Van Dyke. It's talked about as a potential first-round pick going into the next draft, and they might be another team. Two teams from Florida looking good then. And, I mean, we talk about Florida State beating LSU.
Yeah,
so
I was about to say Florida State doesn't look too shabby.
Florida
themselves.
all around is kind of looking to be in the right direction, which is, sadly over the past few years it's been the opposite. So good for them. Teams trending down, stock down. I would say LSU. I mean,
they're stock down.
They're
Stock went down when they went and got Brian Kelly.
This is how I feel about it. I feel like their stock is down for this year because some people, I think, thought they were going to be somewhat good this year. I mean, Brian Kelly does have a track record of winning everywhere he goes. He's a bit of an oddball, and everyone's laughing at him after here my family. And, he's doing the whole fake Southern accent. The guys from like Boston, it's like, what are you doing? But I think he'll get that team right. I mean, their star wide receiver, Kayshon Boutte, just scrubbed all his social media of LSU because this guy was not getting the ball. It was terrible. He looked disengaged, wasn't being used. So we'll see how that goes. But I think, LSU clearly this is going to be a rebuilding year for them. Clemson, like we talked about, their defense is there. They have a bunch of studs on defense, but that offense, I mean, they put up 41-10 against Georgia Tech. Like we were saying, it just didn't really seem like that. I'm even surprised every time I look at the score because as I remember it, the game didn't look that way. Yeah. So they're gonna have some work to do, and yeah, either DJ has to get better and be more consistent and be able to put up some points, or at some point they're gonna have to turn to Cade Klubnik. I mean, luckily for them in the ACC, it's not like yeah, they're
You have time to kind of
yeah, it's not like they're in
evaluate.
a gauntlet like the SEC where it's like every week you don't have time to figure things out.
Yeah,
They'll have
yeah.
a little bit of time and they'll have to get things under control. And then I guess lastly, that Oregon team. I mean, I think they were way overranked and they just got buzzsawed by
Yeah, I
Georgia.
think Georgia
They
showed the nation who Oregon is.
and they need to just recalibrate. I mean, I see Dan Lanning before the game talking to his guys. Oh yeah, we're gonna eat today. We're gonna eat today. No, you got 8. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I mean,
So,
that's the
no, look, I get it. You're a coach. You got to pump your team up, but man, you know what they have over there. You were the defensive coordinator of those guys. You know the guys in that room. You know
Yeah.
the recruits coming in. You know these guys
you
are
know
studs.
who's on their offense. You know
So,
what they're capable of.
yeah,
They
so-
just came off a natty, so they still have something to prove. They want to. I don't know. I think it's kind of like how Clemson was a few years ago. Clemson just recently got they just recently got really big. In the past 10 years. So I think this is kind of the start of Georgia's rebuilding and revamping of who they can actually be. So
Yeah.
I think that's the good thing about college football. College football always has those kinds of things where you have these teams that they're on the up and up, or you have teams where they end up going down. So
Yeah, for sure.